And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, our Thursday edition. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler in California, and Zach Bloomquist. Cameras on Zach. Love having cameras on Zach. Zach with some great producing right before the show. Anticipating Ziggy shuffling over to his right. What did we say? We said he drifted a little bit, like he's in the ocean.
Yeah, he's in the ocean. Just
by the end of the
drifting.
show, Zach is predicting that Ziggy will be in the middle of his frame. Now, we have no idea what it looks like. I probably should have gone over and taken a look.
And there he goes.
But there he goes, right off screen. So we'll see how good Zach is at predicting Ziggy's movements during the course of this show. A very fun show today. NFC East breakdown over the next 8 weeks, or 8 Wednesdays. We'll be recording division breakdowns, and it'll take pretty much the same format, but we'll do each team, and then we have a bunch of different categories like ranking the quarterbacks, ranking the coaches, preseason division MVP, all fun things like that. We're going to get into that today. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We've been doing pretty well on our past few breakout videos. We were saying right beforehand, finally starting to get a little traction there. A video like Dalton Kincaid can pop off.
Sorry, Bills fans.
Yeah, sorry, Bills fans. Can pop off for some good viewership. We're going to end the episode with Ziggy giving Jack and I a top 10 list. We did that last week.
I feel like Ziggy's is really hard.
No, I know. I gave Ziggy and Jack a list, and they were able to get it. The top 10 selling jerseys in 2022. We don't know what Ziggy's list is going to be.
It's going to be impossible.
It could be absurd. Like I wouldn't.
It's not going to be impossible.
It might.
It's
be
not obscure.
France.
It's something you guys should get.
Is it NFL related?
It's not cycling. No.
We have no idea what the list is.
Not NFL related.
Oh, wait, did you say it's not NFL related?
No.
All right, so we'll see. In the event that it's an absurd list, maybe we just end the show immediately. We'll have to see.
No, you guys are going to like this one. Trust me.
All right.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
So we'll see what happens there. So why don't we jump in to the NFC East here?
Let's jump in. I don't have my shades today, unfortunately, but it's all right. I'll
This is like day 3 in a row for you.
I lost them. I don't know where they went.
Let the eyes shine, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Hold on, guys.
Be my replacement for this episode.
I got the shades.
Is that, you're on the West Coast now with the beach anyway. So
Are those prescription?
Oh yeah. Without prescription glasses, I cannot see.
Good. I feel the
I
same
could
way.
not make out who it was.
I would love if you
right, like
the show
I
blind.
can't tell. I can't tell where Paul starts and the wall ends.
No, geez.
I can't without my glasses on.
Maybe that's why he drifts.
maybe.
So the next, this guy in the shades is a moron comment will not be me. It'll be Ziggy.
It'll be about me. Well deserved, by the way. Well deserved.
That's awesome. All right, so why don't we... Oh, and happy 4th of July to everyone. Hope everyone had a very happy 4th. Jack said today should be a day off, really.
It should be a national
We're recording
day off.
July 5th.
Yeah,
it should
be a
day
national
off.
day off for everybody.
Today, day after the Super Bowl, is there another big one that we're missing? Another big day off? Oh, no.
Do
That
we
might
have
be.
day off for Easter? No. Right?
No, not normally, right? Day after Easter should be a day off.
Yeah, it should.
Thanksgiving?
We have
It is.
Thanksgiving. We have
It's Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah. I mean, some people don't have Black Friday off, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't have Black Friday
Yeah.
off. Think about what happens.
Yeah,
on
what
Black
happens
Friday.
on Black Friday? maybe we can start a movement if we get bigger to get specifically day after Super Bowl, day after 4th of July
I
off.
should have. I showed up to work hungover today. It was terrible.
Yeah. No good. All right. NFC East. We're going to go over each team starting, and we have different categories here. The favorite, the challenger, dark horse,
Our
bottom
shoes
team.
tournament or no?
No.
That'll be off air.
Yeah, that'll be off air. The favorite in the NFC East has to be the Philadelphia Eagles. The big question around them was last season just a lightning in the bottle type of a moment. Now, surface level, it's pretty easy to just say, no, they're a very, very talented team, top to bottom in the NFL, maybe the best roster in football, but their defense was dominant. Is it possible that Darius Slay, who's going to be 32 years old, regresses a little? Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, the offense and defensive line, a lot of guys there on the wrong side of 30, getting older each year. So that team is aging a little bit, but my gosh, they still have so many young stars all across the board. When you look at what happened this offseason for them, lost both their starting linebackers, lost both their safeties. So some new faces on that defense that was just so good a year ago. But the offense, for the most part, is going to be intact. They lost one of their guards to you guys, Jack. I look at this Eagles team, and the most impressive thing is the depth. It's just, especially on the defensive line. They could really have maybe even a top 20 defensive line in the league of just their second string players, a top 25. So I think that this team is definitely worthy of staying as the NFC East favorite, probably the NFC favorite for this season. But do you see any regression coming for Philly? Or major regression, I guess.
I'm not going to say major, but it's hard to say I don't see any sort of regression coming. I mean, they were 14-2, and I surely didn't expect that. I know it's a talented roster, a talented team. Hurts took a sumo step. This team on both sides of the ball, all three sides of the ball, was incredible. So I do see a little bit of a regression. As you mentioned, they did lose 3 or 4 other defensive players from last year. But I think this is still the NFC East favorite by a mile. This is the team who beat the Cowboys with their backup quarterback. They mauled the Giants 3 times. I don't really see much competition in that division.
Huge gap between them and the Giants in their games last season.
I think there's a huge gap in Philly and the Giants, and Philly and the Cowboys for that matter. I don't think it's really that close.
Wow.
I'm going to say yes, slight regression, but not big enough where I don't think they're the NFC favorite.
Okay. Ziggy?
I'm not super worried about the players leaving, right? I think the most important players for the team are going to be there. If you're looking for a thing to worry about, it's got to be the coordinators, right? Shane Steichen, offensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator, both gone, replaced by, I believe, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, right? So the Eagles had the great fortune of maintaining their entire staff from year 1 to year 2, not a single major player left. I'd expect them to start the year a lot more slowly than they did last year. Right? They were hot basically from day one last year. This year, you're going to have people on both sides of the ball new to calling plays, right? People who aren't familiar in these big time roles on game day. I think they're going to start out a little bit slower. Now, will that impact their playoff success? I don't think so. I agree that this is the best team in the NFC, but 14-2, given that you're going to have new play callers, I think that's a lofty goal for them. And it doesn't need to be, right? Like, if they win 12 games, they probably win the division. They're the 1 or the 2 seed, and they can go on another run.
And what were they? Wait, last year, were they 14-3 last year, or did they were 13-4?
Oh, it's a 14-2.
I think they were 14-3. I can't remember the exact record.
They were 14-3, but they lost the game to the Saints with Minshew as big home favorites.
And then to the Giants at the end of the year. Did they?
No,
they won that
they beat
game?
the Giants 3 times.
Yeah,
but they lost
to the Commanders.
That might have been it.
Yeah, well, they were taking those end of season Jalen Hurts games off. No Jalen Hurts games off, right?
Yeah.
But 14-3, excellent record.
I see them next year.
Tough
So I
to
went
repeat.
through and I was just looking at their schedule. You mentioned Ziggy starting off slow potentially. I'm not sure because their schedule is the hardest one in football. Last year they had one.
They lost at. I got to correct myself because they lost at Dallas, didn't they?
They did.
But
yes.
Minshew played. They went toe to toe with
Yes.
Minshew. He played very. They played. He played
Yes,
very
they
well.
lost to Dallas, the Commanders, and the Saints. Then.
Yes, yeah. But
Okay.
that game was very close.
Okay. You mentioned, though, the schedule, Ziggy. Last year, they had one of the easiest, if not the easiest schedule in football. 2023, based on the records of last season, they have the toughest schedule in the league. But listen how they start. They're at New England. They host the Vikings, at the Buccaneers, host the Commanders, at the Rams. I mean, that could be 5-0.
5-0.
That could be 5-0, maybe 4-1. So something.
On the
that's good
one
for
hand,
them.
I hear 5-0. On the other hand, I hear slow start dangerous.
Yes.
Right? If they don't come out, because it's not like, Bill Belichick in New England, even when they're not great, is a tough draw. The Vikings keep finding ways to win games they're not supposed to. The Rams could be strong, right? So there are teams there that
maybe
will present a challenge. You don't want to start slow if you're this team.
The
That's all
last
I'm
couple
saying.
times Minnesota's gone to Philly, there's just
Other
no
than
chance.
2018, when Linval Joseph had the pick 6, have not really had good fortune in Philadelphia lately.
Luck's got to break our way sometime.
Like Ziggy said, though, this team, they have their superstars. Like they have Smith, they have AJ Brown, they have Jalen Hurts, they have one of the most locked down corners in football. They don't need to be 15-2 or 14-3 or whatever. They could be 12-5. Take a little bit of a step back, but they're still very good enough to the point where they're probably going to win the NFC.
Now, real quick, before we move on to the Cowboys, I mentioned how hard that schedule is. Just take a listen. After that Rams game for them, it's Jets, Dolphins, I won't say home and away or whatever, but Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, that is a brutal slate of games. They're lucky to have, they have the Bills, the Niners, obviously the Cowboys, and the Dolphins at home there. So that's not bad. But, I mean, this schedule, you're right, Ziggy. If they get off to a slow start for whatever reason, it could get a little interesting. I still think that they're going to be a team that's certainly capable of getting into the playoffs at a wild card. Let's pretend they get off to a slow start and Dallas wins the division. But, yeah, you're right. It's such a tough schedule in the middle there that if they don't start off hot, you could be looking at maybe 10 wins.
And look,
that would be crazy. But
I got to check the exact schedules, but I'm sure there's a few games with these tougher opponents you just listed where Philly has to go on the road to them, and teams like Dallas and the Giants host them.
Yeah, they're at the Jets. They're at the Chiefs.
Dallas hosts the Jets.
They're at Seattle. Yeah, but I mean, it goes both ways. Like Dallas will have some tough road games too.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But we'll see. We'll see. That's a great point about the early part of the schedule. They should be fine, but they slip up and go 2-3 for whatever reason, which we doubt. But
there's some trap games there early.
All right, top challenger, and the Vikings, of course, will take care of business on Thursday night.
They'll be a 24.5 point dog.
God, we're gonna get killed.
Wait, it's Thursday night?
Yeah.
If it's Thursday night, it's over.
No, we're gonna.
I thought it might be a 1 p.m.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, maybe
1 p.m. you have a chance. 1 p.m. you have a chance.
Thursday night, we're gonna lose 40-14. It'll be miserable. 40-10.
Maybe worse.
All right, top challenger in the division, the Dallas Cowboys. How do they finally get on top here? Personally, Ziggy and I disagreed about this before the show started. I think Dak has to be sensational in order for them to take over from Philadelphia. The defense is great, but Dak last year with all the turnovers, 15 interceptions in 12 games, was a big letdown. He's definitely better than Cooper Rush, because I know there was that big Cooper Rush faction of Cowboys fans last year who were rooting for him as he was, I think he was 6-0 or something.
I was on board.
Yeah, I know. You were a big Cooper Rush guy.
I was big.
But Dak, he's the guy. Tony Pollard's there. They have very talented offensive weapons, but Dak's the guy who's going to have to elevate his game because he's been there before. We know good Dak Prescott is very good. I had him listed as the 10th best quarterback in the league, but just with last season, giving the ball away that many times, and Mike McCarthy now play caller, maybe we'll see some because Kellen Moore, he quote unquote left for the Chargers. I like the Cowboys definitely as the number 2 team in this division, but the biggest area that they need to improve on is the turnovers from last year. Even though their average, I think, was 22 in the NFL and they had 23 on the season, it was just Dak, too many turnovers.
Yeah, I think Dallas is my top challenger too, and it's really not even that close between them or the Giants or the Commanders. For me, it's going to be in the head-to-head matchups between Dallas and Philly, how Dallas's secondary needs to be better than it was last year against Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. When you're playing Gardner Minshew and you're winning a game like 44-40, like that, you're playing. That's not going to work against Jalen Hurts. Like Parsons can get pressure, which he will. Hurts can roll out, find Smith, find Brown. They'll be open. But like if Dallas' secondary can kind of bat those balls down a bit, where these guys aren't running wide open, I think that's the key.
Okay, Ziggy, what do you think of Dallas this offseason?
So I think that Dak absolutely has to stay healthy when you're talking about conditions for success. Yeah. But one thing that I think people are ignoring is that the offense around him, you list off and there sounds like there's a lot of good weapons, but the offense was not functional last year, right? They didn't have a wide receiver too. Like Dalton Schultz at like 550 yards. Noah Brown and Michael Gallup returning from injury didn't combine for 1,000 yards. They insisted on putting out Ezekiel Elliott, despite the fact that he was obviously washed up. Like the most common Cowboys drive was failed rush on first down, into CeeDee Lamb for 6 yards, into incompletion to any number of their other receivers. Like the offense just wasn't functional, but now they've got Brandon Cooks. Tony Pollard, who's the most explosive back they've had since old day Zeke, is ready to take over. Dak's finally going to be able to be healthy. Gallup will be healthy. I think there's a lot of reason to think that even if Dak doesn't play like a superstar, we'll at least see something a lot closer to the old Dak Prescott where he's not asked to constantly bail the team out. And then this Cowboys defense, they've got stars. There's nothing to worry about there. They were 12-5 last year, despite having a lot of struggles. I get the playoffs were disappointing, but the thought they could win the division is not outrageous.
No, not at all. I think Dallas is pretty clearly the third best team in the NFC right now. And you talk about that defense, most turnovers in the league last season, third most sacks, top 10 in third down percentage and points allowed per game. Yeah, they were very, very good. And you have to acknowledge too, like you said, with Ezekiel Elliott leaving, Tony Pollard getting that primary role now, he's fun to watch. He destroyed the Vikings when they played, I remember last season. He's just so much more explosive. Adds a completely new element to that attack. Ziggy, you're smiling. Looks like you have something to say about that.
Oh, I've been a Tony Pollard truther for years.
Yes.
I've been saying, watch this guy. I own him in every dynasty league I'm in. I am excited to see what he's going to do next year. Receiving too, right? Ezekiel Elliott, elite pass blocker, below average pass receiver. Pollard may be the opposite.
And you have to also recognize Stephon Gilmore. That's a big addition to their secondary. So there you go. There are the Cowboys, the dark horse contenders in the NFC East. Probably has to be the New York Giants. We're entering year 5 now for Danny Dimes. He just cashed in on a fresh 4-year, $160 million contract. And we've brought this up before. Will he take the leap? The expectations aren't sky high for him or the New York team as a whole this year. But you got to remember, this team from 2017 to 2022 tied with the Jets for the worst record in football. So based on last year, you're now experiencing a team with, there are some expectations. They should get to the playoffs. If I were a Giant fan, I would expect them to get to the playoffs this season. But as we said, that win total is still set at 7.5 for a reason. How talented is this team really?
The Giants, to me, are a team that I think will disappoint. I've been going back and forth on them, but I think they'll disappoint a fair number of people. Because this is a team who they were 0-5 against Philly and Dallas. They couldn't. I think that those two teams are both,
including Cooper Rush, a Cooper Rush game
at home.
Yeah,
and I think both these two teams are a good deal better than the Giants. I just don't see what changes really. Well, I mean, you bring over Darren Waller, like good asset, but I don't really see what changes between last season and this season. Like if you're getting blown out by Philly 3 times in one season, and you lose to Dallas twice, once with their backup QB on your home field. I think this Giants team's closer to the Commanders than they are to the Cowboys and Eagles.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they should have lost on the road at Washington. Lucky to win that game. They tied them once, right?
They tied them 2020. Yeah.
This team is not that good. Like, I really do not think they're that good.
So would you go under 7.5, or maybe
I don't know.
like 8 and 9?
I can see them going 8-9 or 7-10, right around that area.
Yeah, I'm at the 8 to 9 wins for them.
I don't know if I see them in the playoffs.
Okay.
I think they could be held up by a weaker NFC. Like, I mean, you got the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Lions. So, like, maybe, but they're not that good.
How about you, Ziggy?
I think the Giants are one of the larger variance teams in the NFL this year in terms of outcomes you can expect, right? Because, I mean, I start by looking at the defense. And, I mean, that defensive line, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau, even like Ashawn Robinson's a strong run stopper. The safety's got good players, right? Deontay Banks, Xavier McKinney. Like, there are good players there. The questions are all going to be on offense. On the one hand, you've got some great players, right? You've got Saquon Barkley. He should be playing next year. I think they're going to agree on a contract at some point. Andrew Thomas, obviously one of the best left tackles in the entire league. Darren Waller, if he can stay healthy, is good. I'm excited to see guys like Wan'Dale Robinson get healthy and actually play for them. But I think that the Giants made a classic mistake, which is overreacting to 1 year of success. Last year, by every account, even in the building, went better than people thought. Is Daboll really going to be able to get Daniel Jones to take the next step forward? Paul, you asked if a step's coming next year. I think the step's already come. Daniel Jones has advanced about as much as he's going to. He will be an average NFL quarterback.
Well,
maybe.
Even so, like, they're excited about last season. I would be too. Like, they made the playoffs, of course. But even last season, it was an okay season. Nothing to write home about.
They were a wild card team.
Yeah.
Third place.
If they had lost that game to Washington, they don't make it.
And a lot of it has to be because, like we said, 2017, 2022, they had the worst record in football for 5 years. We've talked about, everyone talks about Josh Allen and Brian Daboll. Here was the jump from 2019 to 2020. Josh Allen's second to third year. Completion percentage, 58.8 to 69.2%. Yards, 3,087 to 4,544. Touchdowns, 20 to 37. Overall rating, 85.3 to 107.2. That's not going to happen with Daniel Jones. That's just not going to happen. But will we see an improvement from... And remember, these numbers here that I'm going to read, Giants fans considered this a really good year. They were really excited with 3,200 yards.
$40 million.
Yeah, 3,200 yards, 200 per game. and 15 touchdowns, less than 1 touchdown per game. We saw career highs in QBR, in completion percentage, in yards. Like, I come on, we got to look at this and say, like, maybe he is just an average quarterback. Like, can he really take another step up? I don't see it happening. But to be fair to him, it wasn't like the greatest show on turf was his supporting cast. He had Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, and Richie James were his top 3 receivers last year. So we got to give him a little credit. Now he gets Waller, Jalen Hyatt. Maybe he could come in and make a difference. I mean, I'm not getting too excited over Paris Campbell and Jamison Crowder, but there are some new weapons, better weapons than last year.
I mean, if Waller can stay healthy, I've said this before, that tight end position, especially a good tight end.
Waller will be good for him.
Massive security blanket, which could be very good for a guy like Daniel Jones.
You're making me laugh there as I was reading off his stats and you're just the smile on your face getting bigger.
Well, a report came out today. I have deep respect for Daniel Jones because he went into the Giants front office and asked for $48 million a year on a 5-year deal.
Is that what he said?
That's what the reports are coming out. That he asked for a mega deal, and the Giants, because they were so desperate to franchise tag Saquon Barkley, gave him a moderate deal.
That's what I just think he probably was hoping to get 40. That's my guess.
I know. I'm just imagining the conversation of like, hey, I want $3 million a year per touchdown I threw.
Yeah, I mean, 15 touchdowns has to improve. In order for the Giants to take the jump that their fans want, he needs to be better than he needs to take a big leap from next year. Yeah. I don't know if he's that good. So we'll see. I'm rooting for him. It's fun when the Giants are good until a certain point, at least up to a certain point.
Yeah, I don't really even root for the Giants much.
Okay, the bottom feeder in the NFC East is the Washington Commanders. One of their biggest moves this offseason was adding Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator now. But the defense, really, it all starts and ends with the defense for them. It's good. It's top 10 in the league good. That D-line, probably top 5, maybe even top 3 in the league. They were, I believe right here, 7th in opponent points per game last year, led the NFL in third down conversion percentage rate. And if you could add Chase Young back to this D-line, which already has Daron Payne and Montez Sweat and Jonathan Allen, you're looking at, if he stays and he plays this year, you have 4 first-rounders along that D-line. The defense is good in Washington, but all the questions are going to surround Sam Howell and whether or not the decision to really put your trust in him this season could end a lot of careers in Washington, or at least change a lot of lives in Washington if things don't go as they're hoping.
Yeah, I don't think Washington is with the defense that they have, I don't think they can be a terrible, terrible team. I think if Sam Howell's okay, I think he has a very good receiver, a very good weapon in Scary Terry.
Oh, Terry's great.
Yeah, one of the best in the league. I do think that with the defense they have, if Howell's okay, which I think he will be.
Do you like Howell?
Yeah, I do. I like him coming out of UNC. I like Howell.
I mean, at one point, people thought this guy would be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, I like him coming out of school.
Which, even if it was a little crazy, like, even if you're being mocked number 1 or first rounder, like Sam Howell has talent.
No, he does for sure. But we saw when he was in college, he's a good quarterback. I think this could be a wild card team, right where they were last year. And again, they did something the Giants couldn't do. They went on the road to Philadelphia, won that game.
Because with Taylor Heineke.
But I love Heineke. I'm saying if Howell's okay, and you have a top 10 defense in football, this is a team who could reach the postseason.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like Taylor Heineke is,
right? Yeah,
he's good, but Howell could be better.
I don't think it's crazy to say Howell could be just as good as Heineke.
Yeah, he could be better. Ziggy, what do you think of the Commanders?
I'm at least excited to see Ron Rivera doing something a little bit different. Now, I get that Taylor Heineke and Jacoby Brissett and Sam Howell aren't exactly the most exciting guys to be competing for a starting job. But they've been running it with so many retreads or older guys or whatever that it's nice to see someone new step in, right? You look at the Ron Rivera era, and you're getting like Alex Smith and Mark Sanchez, Case Keenum and Colt McCoy, Kyle Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Heineke started a lot of games last year. Carson Wentz. You're seeing just these retread quarterbacks come in and continue to start for them because Rivera's trying to keep things afloat with a good defense. That doesn't work. So at least finally, they're bringing in some fresh blood. They're saying, okay, Sam Howell, maybe we've got something. Let's at least see what you've got. And who knows? Maybe he will be good. I don't think the defense is going to be enough to keep this team afloat. I think that if things go bad at the quarterback position, you could be looking at a shinier quarterback starting for them next year. Maybe a little Caleb Williams, Drake May, Quinn Ewers.
You got to be real. They have to be really. I don't think they're as bad as a lot of the bottom feeders in other divisions. Like if you go around, the Cardinals.
I think it could quickly go that bad though. You've got a bad offensive line with a rookie quarterback. Chase Young, maybe he comes back, but he wants out. Like a defensive line can't carry a team to win. That's just not how it works in the NFL.
Washington does have disaster potential,
but I think Cal has to be so bad to be a disaster.
He could be. Like he was a fifth round. While he was projected to be a first round pick at one point, we do have to remember there's a reason he was a fifth round pick.
Well, UNC also stunk.
Yeah,
but it didn't
are you that confident? I'm not confident. Howell.
I think he's going to be okay.
I think
he has to really be awful for them to really be that. Bad.
I will say this too: if you strip quarterback from the Giants and the Commanders have a better roster than the Giants.
Yeah, I agree.
So, that team is better suited for Howell around them than Daniel Jones has talent-wise. But we'll see, because, if Howell's bad, that team could get ugly in Washington. I
mean, it is nice for a young guy like Howell to now you bring in a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone who people have wondered why he hasn't been a head coach for years.
Which obviously can't hurt him. That can only help him, so...
We'll see the enemy effect.
I mean, there is at least one reason to be excited about Howell, right? Even though after they were eliminated from playoff contention, right, there was that game against the Cowboys last year. He wasn't exciting in that one game he started, but it was 170 yards, a passing, a rushing touchdown. They won I think 26-6. It was a stomp of the Cowboys. They won a game.
Yeah, it's just fun to have, like you said, when there's not much going off of a former quarterback, not much tape, you really don't know what you're going to get. That's exciting because he could be really good. He could also implode. But with Carson Wentz, we kind of knew he's likely not going to recapture what he had. Kyle Allen, we knew he wasn't going to.
I might even say that the Commanders coming into this season are the dark horse and the Giants are the worst team in the division.
I mean, you're talking yourself. Yeah, you've been talking yourself into this throughout this segment.
I know it's a different quarterback. For sure, I'm not going to overlook that. But the Commanders beat Dak Prescott by 20 points. They went on the road to Philadelphia and won that game at night. What were they, 12-0 and they lost to the Commanders?
I kind of like this take. They are a dark horse. You don't know what Howell's going to be.
They tied the Giants. How are the Giants much better than the Commanders? I think the Commanders might be better.
I kind of like that take. What do you dislike that, Ziggy? Strongly?
And the Giants lost at home to Dallas's backup. Washington murdered their starter.
I'd still think the Giants are a little better because I trust Jones a lot more, but I don't mind that.
I don't know if the Giants are better.
Again, I think if Sam Howell can play well enough that Jahan Dotson and Scary Terry are able to actually do something, then I think this team could be better.
Right,
honestly, I'm super bearish on both these teams. I would not be surprised to see both these teams picking in the top 10, but at least Washington won't have Daniel Jones signed to a terrible deal.
Giants picking in the top 10. I mean, that's a take. That people will not be happy about that.
But I don't know if I'd be shocked either. I could see them coming in fourth in their division.
Giants fans are gonna be pissed. All right, let's do some of these quick rankings and predictions here. Does anyone disagree if I go 4-1 on the quarterbacks? Howell, Jones, Prescott, and Jalen Hurts at 1. Does anyone disagree on that? Nothing. Okay.
I don't disagree. I just think it's not quite as clear cut as people think. Dak Prescott coming off career worst, Hurts coming off career best. Could see regression to the mean for both of them.
So you think that's where the flip would be? You like Daniel Jones at 3 and Howell at 4 there?
No question.
No question. Okay. How about the coaches now? And I think this could differ for each of us. I have Rivera at 4. I have McCarthy at 3. And then this is really close for me. Sirianni should be 1, but I have him at 2. And I have Daboll as the number 1 coach in the division at the moment. And I understand that people are going to be upset because he's only done it 1 year. But I just look at what he did in Buffalo. The Giants had such low expectations coming into last season and a nice turnaround. I think those two are very close, but I got Rivera 4, McCarthy 3, Sirianni 2, Daboll 1. Ziggy,
No. What are you talking about? Look, Daboll outperformed his expectations by like being a wild card team and winning a playoff game. People were forgetting. People were wondering if the Eagles would make the playoffs. And instead they go to the Super Bowl and play to the wire against the Kansas City Chiefs. No, Sirianni all day.
I like Sirianni. It's a 1A, 1B situation for me here. And
no, it's a one Grand Canyon too.
Yeah, Grand Canyon. Look, I want to see Sirianni. I think that the Eagles have way more talent than the Giants have. Sirianni is definitely a very good coach, but I want to see it this year now, losing both the coordinators. Are they going to have a repeat of the success they had last year? With Daboll, look, last year he turned around a team. They were literally plucking receivers off the streets of Manhattan to play, and Daniel Jones now is sitting with a $160 million contract extension. I think Daboll can be the one. Most people would have Sirianni, though.
I go Sirianni, Daboll, Rivera 3, and McCarthy 4.
McCarthy 4. McCarthy gets shit on so much.
He's had
He's
had talented teams and has not done anything. The one
significantly underperformed.
Ron Rivera had a fantastic quarterback going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a winning year in 6 years.
I don't think the talent's been that good.
No, it hasn't. But
I think if you put a lot of coaches on Dallas with what they've had, they would have done more than McCarthy's done.
They should have, and McCarthy has been responsible for
a lot
quite a few of the losses they've had. But to be fair, he's had 17 years as a coach, and 10 of them double-digit win seasons. It's like the Cowboys are 12-5. They're super talented. Yeah, you got to give him credit too for, part of the roster construction that they have right now. It's
when it counts, he does nothing.
That's why I have him at 3. I think if you put him higher above Daboll or Sirianni, that's where people would start to get upset about it. But you got to give him some credit.
No, well, I am, but I think Rivera's
played. You give him no credit. You think he sucks?
Rivera's play. I don't think he sucks. I think he's the 4th worst.
Okay, that's fair. I think Rivera's a good coach as well.
He played in Super Bowl.
I don't think any of these coaches are that bad. What do
the
you?
NFC East has a claim to have the best overall coaching conference in football, except maybe the. Actually, yeah, be good in terms of just all around quality. What the average is, definitely could be.
I don't think McCarthy.
I thought you were high on McCarthy, Ziggy.
I am high. I think that I think he belongs at number 3. The fact is, there's 2 really good coaches ahead of him.
Yep. Okay.
Rivera played a Super Bowl.
Ziggy, are we high on gummies?
Zach got a laugh at lettuce. Zach got a nice juvenile laugh out of that. I am high. Although to be fair,
way to go.
Yeah, too.
All right, best. These two can be right? These two can be a little quick here. Best unit offensively in the division. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Best quarterback, best offensive line, best tight end, best wide receivers.
I think this is obvious too.
Yeah, I think this is pretty. Dallas has a good offense, but the Eagles basically check every box.
It's the Eagles.
The only argument we've made a flip flop Philly and Dallas because 3 and 4
have to be Dallas.
3 and 4 is clear. It's Philly, Dallas, the Giants, Commanders. I think.
Yeah, you might even be able to say the Commanders over the Giants.
You do go Commanders over Giants with Clorin and yeah.
So I'm trying to think Philly versus Dallas. Yeah, you got to go receivers to Philly with Brown and Smith. You got to go
offensive line to Philly.
Yep, O-line. I go Hurts over Dak. I go Goddard over Ferguson. And then I'd probably take Pollard over Swift, but it's
close.
Even that's close.
Call quarterback a draw and give Cowboys the running back, and it's still easily.
I might even go Swift over Pollard.
I know one wants to.
I can't believe they got Swift. Saquon would be the number 1 back in the division for me overall.
No question.
So nobody wanted to make it interesting. Oh, you guys all just pick.
No, we speak objectively on the show.
We don't give hot takes for the sake of inflaming people. That's what you do, Zach.
I'll give a hot take if I think it's, but I just nobody's better than
we're not out here to inflame people. We're out to inform people.
How about defensively? Defensively, I have it between the Cowboys and Eagles again. The Commanders have a very good defense, and the Giants is okay. But who do you have as the best defense in the division, Ziggy?
For me, I think it's the Cowboys. I think this is close, but I think Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the division. I think that the Eagles' secondary is going to get a little bit older, a little bit less good. Compared to what the Cowboys are doing, Gilmore's big. Trayvon Diggs, he's polarizing, but he gets the ball. The safeties are good. Even though they've underperformed a little bit under McCarthy's tenure, the Cowboys just have a great defensive line and a great secondary. And I worry that the Eagles are going to regress a little bit. Everyone on their defense had a career year last year. I'm just not sure that's going to happen again.
Okay, so you got Dallas. And to go off your point there, Dallas led the league in pressure percentage last year. And Philly did lose 2 linebackers, 2 safeties.
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Not because of pure talent, because of chemistry. They have 19 players who played college ball together.
Oh, yeah, with Georgia.
Oh, the Georgia argument.
Philly.
I'm going to go
Chemistry over talent.
I am going to go Philly for now at the moment as well because their corners and I like their D-line more than Dallas with the depth. Interior D-line for the Cowboys. Little concerns. They addressed it in the draft. But when you can dominate the defensive line and the secondary the way that Philly was able to last year, we'll see how big of an impact losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson will ultimately be. I tend to lean Philly, but I mean Dallas is also very dominant in the secondary and D-line as well. So I think it's super close, but I lean Eagles at the moment. Commanders could...
The worst is the Giants by a country mile.
Does the NFC East have the best defenses in football, or would it be the AFC East? Probably the AFC East, right?
It's close. I think the NFC East is going to perform better.
Man, wow. I mean, the AFC
close.
East has great defenses too. Jeez.
But AFC North, Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
What?
I mean, they have good... Yeah, wow.
What do you mean, what?
It's the year of the defense.
The only good defense is the Steelers.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What about Baltimore and
No,
Cleveland?
No, but what do you mean Baltimore's been...
Cleveland's going to improve.
No, Baltimore's-
Cincy's good.
I hate to say, but like Baltimore's D is good.
Garbage. Last year was...
All right.
All right. Well, we could talk this through in our AFC North preview.
We'll
Their
get to the AFC North.
secondary was
AFC North preview,
so
we'll talk about
bad
AFC North
last
preview.
year.
Okay, we have just a couple more categories here. Player to watch.
Wait. What?
All fair.
We'll get there. We'll get there with our
next week.
AFC
Next,
North.
next
God.
week.
Player to watch,
I gotta wait a whole week
non-quarterback.
to...
I've got Nakobe Dean here, taking over middle linebacker for Philly, one of your Georgia guys. Last year, only 13 tackles combined, and I believe just 1 for loss. We'll see how he can step in and play a pivotal role in that Eagles defense, which I'd love to see him regress. And Nakobe Dean is going to be an important figure there. Who do you got, Jack?
Oh, wait, Ziggy, you go first, Ziggy.
I think it's going to be the player I'm interested in watching this year, Dexter Lawrence.
I want to take his guy. I forgot what he said.
The Giants, we've talked about them a lot. A lot is going to have to start for them up front. And Dexter Lawrence, I think, is one of the more underrated guys in the NFL because he hasn't put up those huge sack numbers, right? I believe it was 5 2 years ago, 7.5 last year. But he generates a lot of pressure, and he's a big-time player of a big-time deal. I'm expecting a lot from him. And the Giants' defense, the ability of guys like Thibodeau off the line to generate pressure is going to really depend on what Lawrence can do.
Yeah, huge deal for him, too. He's going to have to prove that.
So, player I'm excited to watch in the NFC East, not a quarterback. I'm going to go chalk and go Tony Pollard. This is a guy I've been waiting to watch him as a 3-down back. And now he's that guy. I think he's more explosive. Explosive than Zeke by a country mile. I think I see similarities to McCaffrey. I think he'll be better in the backfield, a 3-down back, than Zeke was.
Cowboys fans have wanted him to be the primary guy for a long time.
That's what I'm excited to watch.
It's just Jerry Jones holding on to Zeke's hand for years there. Okay, and did you want to say something about Tony?
I was just going to say, and Zeke could pass block, right? This is the worry of Tony Pollard. If you want Dak to take a step forward, they're getting rid of one of the best pass blocking running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, but I think the other side of the coin is Pollard's a security blanket. Like you can dumb it down to him and he can run 15 yards on a screen. Zeke can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, I think Pollard's going to be better. I'm just saying, there's a little too much Zeke slander out there.
Defending your guy. There you go. All right, preseason division MVP. To me, it's between 2 guys. It's Jalen Hurts and Micah Parsons. It's kind of that debate. What is the MVP really? Best player, I think, is Micah Parsons in this division. But the division MVP, I have to go Jalen Hurts here.
No, you know who the MVP of the NFC East is? It's Saquon Barkley.
That's what we love to hear.
No, he's not the...
I'm not
ignore
saying,
positions.
3 different
Micah
MVPs.
Parsons is still better.
but I'm not saying best player. And I'm not a running back guy. But if you take Barkley off the Giants, they're 2-15. So he is the most valuable player.
You wouldn't give him a contract. You
I
wouldn't give him a big
would.
extension. You did?
I said I would, yeah.
I thought you and Andrew were big like,
No,
never pay the running back. And I'm like,
I think running backs 99% of the time meaningless. But what I've watched him do behind
it's Barkley, McCaffrey, Henry.
Yeah, behind terrible blocking and a terrible offense for the most part, he's been phenomenal. You talk most valuable player to a team, easy Saquon Barkley.
Okay, and Ziggy, how about you?
This take's going to make a lot of people mad. I thought I was going to go Micah Parsons. But if I've got to predict who I think is going to be the most valuable player, I'm expecting a big improvement from Dak Prescott. Last year was the worst season of his career. I think the Cowboys are going to lean on him. And this year, with better weapons, a more functional offense, I think he's going to deliver. I think folks are going to look back at the end of the season. You're seeing Dak Prescott start to slip out of the top 10 list in people's quarterback rankings. People are going to be reminded next year why Dak Prescott is a top 5 QB.
What?
He's good.
Is he
Watch.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Do the Giants reach the NFC divisional round without Saquon Barkley?
Do the Cowboys reach a playoff win without Dak Prescott? No. But also, I mean, we've seen what happens when Saquon gets hurt and guys step in and replace him. They do just fine.
Cooper Rush was pretty good.
Jalen Hurts should have been the MVP of the league last year.
Yeah, but there's also just so much talent around. I'm like, Minshew was good.
This checks out because it's Ziggy kind of going with a like.
I'm going by definition.
Yeah,
the most valuable
player
on
Ziggy's
a
like
team.
a little out of pocket with Dak. Again, very reasonable, pretty reasonable, but a little bit out of left field. Jack going by definition of MVP, and then me going completely chalk with Jalen Hurts.
That checks out.
Makes sense. Okay, how about division predictions here now? I actually went through and filled out predictions of every NFL game. And I had the Eagles at 12-5, winning the division by 1 game over the Cowboys, with the Giants in 3rd and Commanders in 4th.
Now, with that being said, I like Barkley. With that being said, though, I'm going to go Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
Okay. And Ziggy, how about you?
Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders.
Oh, all right. So do you think the Cowboys are going to be the 1 seed?
No. I think the 1 seed is going to be the 49ers.
Okay.
But I think the Cowboys, they might be. You know, I think it's going to be one of those 3 teams. The NFC really feels like a 3-horse race at this point. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Dude, what about Detroit? If the Cowboys have the 2 seed, they need to get to the NFC Championship. I mean, it's just been a long time.
If the Lions win the division and the NFC East,
they won't.
Team is the 5. I'm taking the Lions at home.
You're taking the Lions at home
over Philly or Dallas in the first round. Yeah.
Let's see. I think Dallas are. Well, who would be
the Lions? Would beat
I think
Dallas,
the Lions could be 3 over the Saints. I think the Saints would probably be more likely.
The Lions could be 3, yeah,
4.
But I would take the Saints over Dallas at home too.
Yeah, I still got Philly at 1, but I like them in Dallas. Last year, it felt like Dallas was chasing all year, never really going to catch up. I think this season's a little bit more back and forth, where it could really be either team.
Yeah, I also don't know about San Francisco that much either anymore.
No,
I think they're being. I think they're being a little overrated.
Opens the door
and
for
overhyped coming into this season.
Wow.
We'll talk about that in our NFC West.
All right. Some good
all I'll say is this is for Cowboys and Eagles fans alike, I think there's a chance that both Cowboys-Eagles games are the 1 and 2 best games in the NFL this year. There's a lot to be excited about that old-time divisional rivalry.
It will be.
When that division's going, it's it might be the most fun division in the NFL.
There's going to be a target on Achilles' back this year too.
Yeah, I hope they suck.
Teams will be out to get
I hope they suck. I'm so sick and tired of. You know what sucks is that there are Philly. It's like the Packers. There's so many Packers fans who I just really like. A lot of my best friends are Packers fans, and a lot of my really good friends are Philly fans. Multiple
from Notre Dame.
Yeah. There's just so many.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of them. We know Philly fans.
I don't know any Philly fans.
I don't want to say. You know what I'm sick and tired of? Somehow Ziggy's drifted to the other side of the screen. It's incredible.
Ziggy, are there rip currents?
I don't do what I'm told.
Ziggy was moving to the right earlier, and then he puts on the sunglasses. Now he's drifting to the left.
Know what? He's a rebel, man.
Ziggy's a stubborn.
I'm polarized. These sunglasses are polarized, so my direction flips.
He's a stubborn talent. Talent.
Yeah. So I'm just so sick of the Eagles. All right, let's real quick before we get into the Ziggy top 10 list. I just want to ask you guys this question. I was debating it with a coworker, and then it turned into a full-on argument with my brother. If you gave the middle, and we'll do this for like 2 minutes because this could really get out of hand. If you gave a middle linebacker like a machete, basically, this stemmed from the Kirk Cousins saying, "If I die, I die" quote years ago with COVID. And one of my coworkers was like, "No, you know, Kirk is the kind of guy who would go straight on against a linebacker with a machete." And I said, "Yeah, I agree." But that led to, let's pretend a middle linebacker chopped off Kirk Cousins' hands as he's extending for the goal line, but Kirk remained in possession of the ball in his severed hands as they crossed the goal line. would you consider him in the end zone, or is that like a fumble?
No.
What do you? I think the moment.
No, it's a fumble.
I think it's control up until the hands are severed. Myself.
Yeah, if he's not holding the ball, it's not him. It's just a hand.
I mean, it's his hands.
But not anymore. It's just a hand.
Okay,
it's not attached to him. It's just a hand and a ball.
Yeah,
so I'd say
it's Kirk Cousins' old hands.
I'd say it's a fumble.
Yeah, that's what I think. My brother said that he would. My brother's was ridiculous. He said, imagine the hands reaching out, going forward midair. He said if Kirk's knee hits the ground, he would rule it down where Kirk's knee hits.
I mean, look, you have to remember what Aristotle says in the Metaphysics, right? Like a corpse is only a corpse by analogy. It's not actually a human body anymore. It's something else. Similarly, it's not even a human hand anymore if it's not attached to a body. Hands, like, they grasp things. All right, so they're parts of living creatures.
This is a live ball.
Yeah, like it's not Kirk Cousins' hand anymore.
Okay, so we're saying it's just great play by middle linebacker, loose ball in the field.
A fumble. Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to get a 15-yard penalty for cutting his hands off on sportsmanlike conduct. So I'm not sure it's a great play.
Maybe one game suspension, too. Maybe one game suspension.
All right. Well, thanks for clearing that up. Thanks for the philosophy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's in.
All right. What's this list here, Ziggy? Do we have to end the show now, or are we going to?
Yeah. No. This is. I think you're going to find this a reasonable list. So here's what I want from you guys: the top 10 selling beers in the United States
for 2022.
Oh.
No, as of the most recent big time study of how many barrels were sold was 2018. So it's as of 2018.
Top selling beers in the United States.
Bud Light's taking a hit.
Well, as of 2018, all right. Bud Light.
You get 3 strikes. Bud Light number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coors Light.
Miller
and Coors.
So hold on. So we've got
Miller's part Coors.
Coors Light number 2.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's beers. It's just beers.
Coors, a 2. We'll say Miller.
Miller, yeah.
Miller Lite?
Yeah. All those 3 got to be on
that's
there.
4.
All right, Miller's 4.
Miller, Coors, but that was the obvious.
Mm-hmm. Budweiser probably has to. Right, Budweiser?
Yeah. Bud's 3.
Bud's 3, okay. All right, let's see. What other beers do we have here? Corona's in there. Well, hold on, Ziggy. Before we do our guesses, is Corona, was it Blue Moon, Yingling, Heineken?
Heineken could be up there.
Heineken, because Heineken has that Heineken Zero.
Guinness.
Guinness could be.
When you say sell like in a store, like just sell like someone orders
we're talking the total number of like units of beer that they shipped and sold in the United States. This is counting everything from like a college rager to a bar to a restaurant.
Natural.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
That was that keg beer freshman year.
Natty Light.
Yeah, I think
Stella.
I think I like Heineken.
Heineken up there.
How about
Heineken? Do we want to get some guesses in here?
How about Heineken?
Heineken.
Strike 1.
Oh,
I mean, Guinness has to be on there.
Guinness, you think?
I don't know.
You know how many people drink Guinness? It's a heavy dark beer.
I guess top 10 is a lot. Like, is there 9?
How is Heineken not on there?
Is there 10 beers ahead of a Guinness?
I'm trying to think, like, if I'm rocking a beer at a bar or something.
I mean, I don't like Guinness that much. People do, though.
I think I feel.
What about Sam Adams?
Sam Adams?
I don't know if is that a guy?
You guys need a little bit of it.
No. Hold on. Let us.
You will get a hint at strike 2.
Okay. Do you think Natty Light could Natty Light be a top 10 selling beer in the U.S.?
Because a lot of these college parties too have like a Bud Light. It's not all Natty Light. Natty Light's terrible. The only strengths was like 18-year-olds.
Yingling could definitely be up.
I like Yingling.
Yeah, I'll go Yingling.
How about Yingling?
Strike 2.
Jeez, oh my god.
So consider that there are lots of people who don't live in places like New Jersey. You might consider some of the beers that are popular in like the southwestern United States.
Busch Light.
Southwestern United
Busch Light's 9.
Busch Light. I would hammer that at Vodtak at those pre-games.
What do you say, southwestern U.S.?
Yeah.
Modelo?
Modelo is number 7.
Jeez, that was a close one there.
Trust me.
I would just say the Heineken was unfortunate. It's number 11. You just missed that.
I'm really surprised at Heineken.
Modelo, Bush.
I don't know. Well, what do we have here? We have Yingling was not on it.
Have you ever had a Dos Equis?
No.
Said Bush.
No. Is it good?
Never mind. I don't know. I've never had
So we need
I see
5,
commercials
6,
for all
8,
that.
and 10. 5, 6, 8, and 10 for top selling beers.
5.
I feel like 5. It's gotta be a big one.
Colt 45.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Could 5 be the Guinness? What's another light beer? Like, what's another beer?
Well,
like
I'm going to
Bud,
save you guys here. Guinness is 26.
Yeah,
it's not close.
No, don't worry, Ziggy. I was not thinking Guinness.
Yeah.
Guinness is outrageous.
Are seltzers on there?
No, it's just beer.
With a Stella?
What about Sam? You said Sam Adams.
Sam Adams.
Sam Adams. They have like Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Let's just say that. Let's guess it.
Look at Ziggy. I'm trying to think. What are the other lights? Yeah, there's.
Same.
Bud Light, Miller Light. There's really no.
There's no. We got the obvious. We got
Busch
the
Light,
obvious
Natty
ones.
Light.
Wait, when you said
None.
for 2, when you said Coors, it was
We need Andrew. Andrew would be good.
Coors
at this.
Light.
It was Coors Light, and there's no other Coors.
Okay.
Coors, the banquet beer.
I mean, Corona's got to be up there.
How can it not?
Yeah.
I mean, besides until coronavirus came around, it had to be up there for.
I'll go Corona.
Okay, Corona's number 5. Corona's number 5.
Yeah.
Corona. Yeah,
All right,
Corona.
so we got Corona,
Yeah, fuck you guys. I knew it.
and then
Well, I said
6,
Corona like 10 minutes
6,
ago.
8, 10. Yeah, no. Corona was a good
Yeah,
guess.
but I had to push Paul over the edge. He was standing there like.
That's true.
You've got one miss left for 6, 8, and 10.
All right, so we got.
I feel like 10's gonna be tough.
This is gonna be really hard. All right, I have on our list that we said Natty Light, Sam Adams, and Blue Moon earlier.
I don't hate Blue Moon.
Could be.
One of those is on there. 2 of them is not.
I don't hate Blue Moon.
What was it? Natty Light could definitely be on.
I don't think Natty Light's
No.
on there.
That's only 18-year-olds drink that.
Ziggy. Oh man, but Natty Light is.
It's not Natty Light. That's not on there.
It's got to be Blue Moon.
All right, so Blue Moon, Natty
I'd
Light,
go-
or Sam Adams.
I'd go Blue Moon.
You go Blue Moon over.
No, I go Sam Adams.
I think I'd go Sam Adams
Sam
too.
Adams.
Right, Sam Adams?
Sam Adams.
Sam Adams.
Number 8, Natty Light.
My bad.
All right, 8 Natty
So
Light.
counting up.
Right,
So
two.
you got 10 Bush, 9 Bush Light, 8 Natty Light,
Oh,
7 Modelo,
damn.
6 Michelob Ultra,
Michelob.
and then
Okay,
5
yeah.
Corona, Miller Light, Budweiser.
You drink
Coors
Michelob
Light,
on your
Bud.
fridge. It's in there all the time.
I don't drink Michelob, but my dad isn't it a big dad beer? Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, I
Dads
don't
love
drink
Michelob.
it much.
My Aunt JoJo drinks it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's like an older
Yeah,
generation.
missing on the Michelob Ultra was a tough miss.
you know, in my mind, I wasn't separating Bush and Bush Light.
Same. Like I wouldn't have gotten Bush and Bush Light.
No.
I might have helped you guys if it got there, but you
We
didn't
should
get
have
it.
we should have got Natty though. I mean,
Yeah,
Natty's
that's my bad.
I actually couldn't believe they shipped 6.5 million barrels of Natty Light. Like that's outrageous.
I guess it is all college kids drink really the first 2 years of school.
Blue Moon was too niche. Blue Moon's very good.
Blue
but-
Moon's like order it at like a trivia night. That's
Yeah,
what Blue Moon
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Sam Adams. Do you know what's higher, Sam Adams or Blue Moon? It's got to be.
Neither of them are top 25.
Oof,
Wow.
jeez.
Sorry, Sam Adams.
What was 11 through 15?
11, as we said, Heineken. 12, Keystone Light. 13,
Keystone.
Miller High Life.
That's what I was
14,
thinking. Miller High Life. for a second.
Stella. 15,
Stella.
PBR.
Forgot about PBR. All right,
That's the
that's a good list, Ziggy.
that blue ribbon, right? The
Yeah,
yeah.
Paps.
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
All right.
I was just saying, that was a pretty interesting top 10, right? You had to go in the thinker a little bit.
Yeah,
You got
I mean,
some
the
right.
top-
You got close.
that was a good one. That was a good list.
Yeah, like top 4 we got pretty quick. Corona, like we would have got to Corona eventually.
Yeah.
Modelo was good. Modelo was a good guess.
Well, I thought like when you said like Southwest, I'm like, oh, what that one?
And then Natty. Dang.
Yeah.
If we got Natty, what was 6 again? 6 was. What did you say?
6 was 6 was Michelob.
Michelob.
The thing is,
Ultra.
you find nobody else in the country drinking Natty Light past the age of 19.
Yeah,
but you
but-
forget how many
So
college kids there are in the country.
Oh, and you're forgetting high schoolers, too.
Yeah.
High schoolers guzzle that stuff.
You forget how many high schoolers and college kids there are in the country.
I mean, really, how many people are out there drinking Sam Adams?
I know.
Hey,
That was
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest is good, but I mean, how many?
That's 1 month of the year, guys.
Yeah. All right.
That could be a
Bad
lot of
guess
beer
there.
consumed.
All right.
All right. Well done. Well done, Ziggy.
Thanks for the shades.
You wore the
tonight, Ziggy.
shades
You
well
took my
today.
spot. You wore them well.
All right. Till next time. I like the lists. The lists are fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like
All
us.
right. Well,
All right. We will see you next Tuesday for the show. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you did on that top 10 beers list if you made it all the way through the episode. And we'll be back with more division rankings next Wednesday and a regular episode on Monday. We will see you soon. Peace.